So let's just jump into it. So let's steal a logo. All right, let's steal a logo from a good-hearted company that's not likely to sue me. Shell, perfect. Okay. So if we're gonna say, well, we can copy it. We'll just copy that, and the way I'm gonna do this is come right into Photoshop. Go new. It should remember your the dimensions that you put in the clipboard, and we're just gonna call this shell logo PNG. And on transparent, okay. And then Command V or Control V or whatever you want to do on a PC. Grab that one. Get rid of that white stuff so that we have some transparency. And now we're just going to go ahead and save this as a PNG on the desktop. And compression, are you crazy? Alright. Now we're going to go into Adobe Illustrator. Yeah, blah 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 blah. You know, I wish I could see never do this again to me thing. There it is. Oh, you guys are witnessing history, guys. Here we go. Okay. So what you're going to want is this image trace window right here. Oh, that's Photoshop again. Let's go File, Open. And we put that thing on the desktop, shell logo PNG. Just find whatever you called yours. And what I like to do in Illustrator right out the bat is go View, Show Transparency Grid, so you can see that we have transparency. Because that sometimes when you bring things from Illustrator to After Effects, you don't realize that you didn't have transparency in a little spot that was the same color as your artboard. So that can suck. Alright, so now let's go ahead and image trace this. I want it in color, and I want two colors because you can see there's two. If you're doing this with a more complex image, obviously you can do it with more colors. But there's a limit. You'll find out what that limit is. If you do it too complex and then bring it into After Effects, it'll say something like, you have a triangle that's too small, and it just won't work. So try to keep the logos a little bit simple, but you know, I've definitely done this before with like 30 colors. Alright, so we'll just trace that. I'll skip ahead this progressy part. Gotta cluster the pixels. What? See? You may have to add a couple, go a little higher on here. See, it should have obviously been 2, but apparently not. Apparently it went and grabbed this white background for the second color, so there was 3. Alright, so we're going to grab this white direct selection tool and grab this. Oh, first we're going to expand. There. Now click off so that you don't have anything selected. Use your direct selection tool to get rid of that white stuff, because we don't want that. So that's why it's important to have your transparency grid, because sometimes when you're doing image tracing, transparency can be lost. Alright, so now what we want to do, and you don't have to do this, but I'm going to do this just because it's pretty, this is kind of a cool part of the tutorial. I'm going to make a new layer. Then I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, and I'm going to extrude the yellow. In After Effects, I'm going to extrude the yellow or the red more than the other. So I think the yellow would be kind of cool to extrude. So go Command C, then delete, then come up, select your next layer, and Command V. So you're putting that in another layer. And then you can kind of use your arrow keys to get it right into place. I'm sure there's an option for like paste on place or something like that, but I just didn't bother to look it up yet. Alright, and also when you bring it into After Effects, it kind of shifts on you anyway for some reason. So anyway, there we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save this as an AI, and we'll go, yeah, shell, we'll just call that shell logo AI, and save, and it should all look like this, I guess. Okay, and then we're going to go into After Effects. Yeah, just agree with it. New composition, 1920 by 1080. We'll call this one shell logo. Sure. Ray trace, blah, blah, blah. That's important. Okay. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is double click, or however, Command I, however you want to import files. And we're going to go and get that shell logo AI file. And when yours might say footage, you want that to say composition. And I'm saying layer size, but you can play with that if you want. I've always said layer size. Alright, so now what you want to do is drop down. You got a folder here that shows your layers from Illustrator. Just go and drop that down and grab them and drag them into your timeline area. So now, sweet, we have this shell logo in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make it so that I'm working in 3D space with both of them. And if I start this is kind of a taxing thing, so if I start beach balling too hard, I'll just fast forward that through in the tutorial. Once you've got those 3D boxes checked, then you're going to want to go up here and see how my renderer says ray traced. Yours might say classic 3D. If it does say classic 3D, click on it and you'll see this dialog. Yours will be at that. Change it to that. Cool? Alright, glad we had that talk. Okay, next thing you want to do, right click on your thing, on your layers here, and create shapes from vector layer. And then you'll get another layer here called the outlines for each layer. And these will now be all that's visible, these outlines, and that's basically what you want to work with. So now you should have certain geometry options for this, for the two layers of this logo. So I can't remember, was layer 2 the yellow or red? We'll find out now. So go into geometry options, and now we can start extruding. So if we rotate that a little bit on the y-axis, we should see that it actually does have some depth. It does. Excellent. Alright, so let's get that back to 0, but we don't want, let's say we wanted to rotate this, but we wanted them to rotate together, the two layers. So all you're gonna do is just parent the one to the other. We'll go, make sure you're parenting to the outlines layer. So just, I parented layer 2 to layer 1 that way. So it's just gonna be parenting on movement, so you don't have to worry. And let's put that extrusion at like 20. Alright. So now it looks a little bit 3D, but it's still not fully awesome, so let's add a light. So to add a light in After Effects, we're going to go Layer, New, Light. And let's make this light like a crazy, like blue kind of light, me like that. Spotlight, yep. Okay. And light positioning is fairly awesome. It's really cool and fun, so I'm gonna just play with it. That's how I learned it, just by kind of playing with it. And I think that looks pretty rad. So I'm gonna actually increase the brightness of it though. Let's crank up the intensity of that sweet blue light. Oh yeah. Oh man, that is making me want to buy gasoline right now. Alright, there. Now we're all good. We're all going around, and there's some 3D-ness to that logo. So I'm going to go ahead and export this and show you what we've done.